Hey guys, welcome back to a new video by Biology with Zhangshan. So today we are going to do the Cambridge IGCSE Biology, Paper 2, Multiple Choice Extended. This is the October-November 2024 series, Paper 2, Variant 1. Okay, so this is Variant 1. So if there are any questions when I'm discussing the multiple choices, please do comment down in the comment section if you have any questions. So let's begin with the paper. So question 1. A living organism X can make its own food, get rid of toxic material and detect and respond to stimuli. What other 4 processes must organism X carry out to stay alive? So you have to determine what are these statements first. Okay, so can make its own food, this is nutrition. Get rid of toxic materials is excretion. And detect and respond to stimuli is sensitivity. So now they ask you what are the other 4 processes, meaning other than this, what do they need to stay alive? Okay, this comes back to the 7 characteristics that we need. So the answer would be, okay, growth, movement, reproduction and respiration, because there is sensitivity here, there's nutrition here, there is also sensitivity here also. So all of these options are found in the question already, so they don't want this, they want to have other than the 3. Okay. Question 2. The diagram shows an animal using the dichotomous key. Which genus does the animal belong to? So we have to analyze based on this. So first, has jointed legs. Yes, jointed legs. But how many of them? There are more than 3 pairs, because there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there is 4. So we come to here. Okay. Let me just highlight. Okay, so there is 4 pairs of leg here, so the answer is C. It's a very straightforward question. Question 3. Which statement is true for all species of organism? Okay, so a species is a group of organisms that are genetically identical. Wrong. A species is a group of organisms that produce fertile offspring. Yeah, sounds very correct. C. A species is a group of organisms that reproduce both asexually and sexually. Nope. A species is a group of organisms that reproduce by sexual means only. This is also wrong. So the answer is B. Question 4. Which group of living organisms includes the myriapods? Okay, myriapods. So very simple. You see the word pods. So pods. The answer is arthropods. Question 5. The diagram shows the liver cell. Which features are present in this cell and also in most plant cells, meaning both animal cell and plant cell possess these organelles. Alright, so pretty much I've seen the answer here. So the answer is cell membrane and cytoplasm. Okay, both of these can be commonly found in both animal and plant cell. Cell membrane is both, and set vacuole is only for plant. Cell wall is only for plant, and these are both in cell wall and plants only. Okay, so that's the answer. Question 6. A tick is a type of arachnid. Okay, the length of an adult tick is 2.3 mm. So what is the length of the tick in micrometers? Okay, so you really just have to calculate this by multiplying with 1000. Okay, so the answer is 2300 micrometer. So the answer is D. Question 7. Cylinders of potato tissues were left in different concentrations of sucrose solution for 1 hour. The graph shows the percentage change in the length of the potato cylinders after 1 hour. So what can be concluded about the cells of the potato cylinders that were left in 0.2 mole per dm cube sucrose solution? Alright, so we might have to analyze this a bit. So they show you the percentage change in the length, okay, and the length of the potato cylinders after 1 hour, okay, and this is the concentration of the sucrose solution. So we have to really understand this first, okay. So A, the cells in the potato cylinders become flaccid. Okay, so this answer is definitely not being flaccid. Okay, why? Because that flaccid is kind of like it shrinks, it goes into like an hypertonic solution, they become flaccid. So it's not. The cells in the potato cylinders becomes plasmolysed. Nope, that's not being plasmolysed. The net movement of water into the potato cells were equal to the net movement of water out of the potato cell. This is correct. The water potential of the potato cells was 0. Okay, wrong. So the answer is C. Because they tell you it's 0.2 mole per dm cube. So 0.2 mole per dm cube is becoming at 0% change, meaning there is no loss, there's no gain in terms of water that cause an effect onto the plant cells. So that's why it's called as a net movement of water is equal to the net movement of water going in. Okay, so that is the answer for C. Question 8. Which statement about biological molecules is correct? DNA molecules contain pairs of bases, A pairs with G, C pairs with T. Is wrong. Okay, it should be A and T, C and G. Fatty acids and glycerol molecules can be joined together to form proteins. This is wrong. Glucose molecules can be joined together to make cellulose and glycogen. This is correct. Starch molecules are made of maltase. This is wrong. This should be, if it's maltase, it should be maltose. So the answer is C. Question 9. The graph shows how temperature affects an enzyme controlled reaction. Where on the graph do the enzyme and substrate molecules have the most kinetic energy? So they're telling you the most kinetic energy, meaning when temperature increases, kinetic energy increases. So you don't have to really confuse yourself with how the enzyme would work. They just want to ask you for the most kinetic energy. So the answer is donkey. Question 10. Which substance is an energy store that is made in plant cells from the products of photosynthesis? Okay, so energy store made in plant cells from the products of photosynthesis. So the answer is starch. Okay, they make starch and then later on they will convert to either glucose or sucrose depending on where is it going. Question 11. Which nutrient is lacking when a person has scurvy? Okay, so this one is something that you have to know. Answer is vitamin C. Question 12. The diagram shows part of the alimentary canal. So which variable correctly identifies the structure from J to M? So J is the esophagus, M is the stomach, K is the pancreas, L is the small intestine. So the answer is A. So if you know what is J, everything is easy already. Alright, so question 13. Which statement about enzymes in digestion is correct? So amylase catalyzes the breakdown of fats to fatty acids and glycerol. So amylase, they do not do anything about fat. That is lipase job. So this is wrong. This is also wrong because oil to fatty acid is wrong. And glucose is also incorrect. Lipase catalyzes the breakdown of fats to fatty acids and glycerol. This sounds correct. Lipase catalyzes the breakdown of oils to fatty acid and glucose. So this part is correct, but this one is wrong. It should be glycerol. So the answer is C. Question 14. The diagram shows a villus. Okay, which statement about absorption is correct? So what they're pointing you, okay, is that if you want to see which is the correct one, so amino acids move into X, X is not moving amino acids. Fatty acids move into X, this is correct. Cellulose move into Y, okay, this is also wrong. Maltose move into Y, this is also wrong. So what is actually X? X is a lactase. Okay, question 15. Which substance strengthens the wall of the xylem vessels? Remember that xylem vessels are dead, okay? So they have a very strong wall that acts as a very good structural support. And that is what is called as lignin. Question 16. Which rule explains why a plant wilts? Okay, why a plant will wilt. So, first of all, okay, if you do not know where to start off with state of the plant cells. Okay, When they are losing water, water is moving out, okay? They become hypertonic, right? So they will definitely become flaccid. So turgid is wrong. So we eliminate B and D already. So now we have to see whether it's A or C. Okay. Second one we can see is the water uptake from the root. We know that when the plant is actually wilting, right, it means that there is lesser water coming up from the plant. So there is lower uptake of water and higher water loss at the leaf surface because of they go by diffusion, they go by osmosis. Okay, so the answer is D. That's how you really look. If you don't know where to start, right, start with something that you know. Okay, personally I start with the state of the plant cell because plant wilts, it means that it shrinks, so it becomes flaccid. Then only you know that wilting is caused by low amount of water uptake in the roots, and therefore that causes wilting. Question 17. Scientists investigated the movement of sucrose through a plant. They used carbon dioxide containing radioactive carbon-14C. They covered one leaf on the plant with a clear plastic bag containing of 14CO2. After 24 hours, the plant was placed onto a photographic film. The photographic film went black where the radioactive carbon was present. So diagram 1 shows the plant at the start of the experiment, and diagram 2 shows the photographic film at the end. Okay, so what conclusions can be made from the experiment below? Okay, so translocation occurs upward and downward direction. Yes, remember translocation is a movement of sucrose and amino acids. They are bidirectional, means they go in two directions. The leaf and the shoot tip are the sources. Nope, they are not. The roots and the flowers are the sinks. Yes, that's right. Okay, so why? Is because they depend on the leaves being the one that is the source. Okay, so that they can get all of these stuff and store it in the flowers or the roots. Let's say during the winter, that they need to use it. So the answer is C. So actually number 2 is very close lah. Leaf is correct, but the shoot tip is wrong. Okay. Question 18. The diagram shows the section through a human heart, which valves is the right atrioventricular valve. Alright, so first of all, we have to separate them first. This is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. So AV valve is very simple, it's this one. So the answer is A. B is a semilunar valve. Okay. Question 19. Which row shows the features of a blood vessel that transport blood at low pressure? Low pressure. So obviously urinal is veins. Okay. So let's look deeper. So in veins, what can you remember? They have very large lumen, thin walls, and they have valves. Okay. So the answer is donkey. So if you know all your options, I think if you understand the characteristics well, this will become very simple. Okay. So the diagram shows a component of blood. So what is the name of this component? So this looks like a white blood cell, but so a white blood cell usually have a lot of lobes of nucleus. So that is also known as the phagocyte. Because neutrophil, they will undergo phagocytosis. Example. Alright. Question 21. Which statement about immunity is correct? So antibodies are present on the surface of pathogens. This is wrong. There should be antigens. Antibodies are produced by lymphocytes. It could be correct. Antigens are produced by memory cell. This is wrong. It should be antibody. Antigens are produced by phagocyte. They do not produce anything. Okay, so the answer is B. Question 22. The intercostal muscles and diaphragm contract and relax during ventilation. Which row shows the actions of the muscle that result in the large volume inside the thorax? Okay, so large volume inside the thorax actually kind of indicates to you that it's inspiration. So why is that? Because large volume, meaning all of the air is rushed in. Okay, and what actually happens to the intercostal muscle is that the external one will contract, the internal intercostal muscle will relax. The diaphragm will contract. So the answer is A, because you're letting pressure from all the air from the outside to go inside our lungs. So that's why that happens only in inspiration. Question 23. How many molecules of carbon dioxide, glucose, oxygen, and water are there in a balanced equation for aerobic respiration? Honestly, this is a very simple question, okay? But of course, be careful. The answer is C, but a lot of people might choose D. Be careful. There's only one glucose, because glucose is C6H12O6. Okay, 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, 6 oxygen. Okay, and not 6 carbon dioxide, 6 glucose, 6 oxygen, 6 water. Okay, very careful with this question. Question 24. Where is urea formed and excreted? So they are formed in the liver, excreted in the kidney. Okay, question 25. A growing seedling was pinned sideways onto a wooden board that was covered in a wet blotting paper. The seedling was kept in the dark box. The diagram shows the seedling after 24 hours. Auxin had become concentrated on the lower side of the shoot and the root. So what can be concluded, okay, about the effect of auxin on the seedling? Okay, so a high concentration of auxin stimulates cell elongation on the lower side of the root. No, this is wrong. I know it's lower side, but they're pointing this at the shoot. Okay, so the root is the wrong one. The high concentration of auxin stimulates cell elongation on the lower side of the shoot. That is correct. A low concentration of auxin stimulates cell elongation on the upper side. Anything about upper side is wrong. So the answer is B. Question 26. Which statement describes a drug? Okay, so A, a substance that's produced in the body and alters the activity of the target organs. This is wrong. B, a substance that is produced in the body and increases the rate of chemical reactions in the body. Wrong. Any substance that taken into the body that modifies or affect chemical reactions in the body. This is correct. Any substance that helps the body maintain a constant internal environment. This is homeostasis. So it's wrong. The answer is C. Question 27. The diagram shows a plant that is producing small plantlets. Which statement about the plantlets is correct? Okay, this is a little bit tricky, but let's see. They are genetically different from the parent plant. This is wrong. Okay, they are genetically identical to the parent plant. This is correct. So the answer is B. But again, we need to remember, the plantlets are growing under the same stem. Okay, so meaning they are still one plant. So any leaves that they grow or any extra stem they elongate or they branch out, right? They are still under the same plant. When they are under the same plant, they are always genetically identical. Okay? It's like, let's say if I grow another arm, you won't say that the arm is genetically different. It's still under me. So, in the end, it is still identical to the parent plant. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Question 28. Which hormone maintains the thickness of the lining of the uterus during pregnancy? Very simple, progesterone. Question 29. The table shows the number of new HIV infections in 1990 and 2021 in one country. So this is the year. 8,800 dropped to 830. So which statements could explain the change in the number of new HIV infections between 1990 and 2021? Condoms, which prevent the transmission of STI, increase in prices. This is wrong. Okay. People in 2021 had more sexual partners. No, it's not correct. Testing of donated blood for pathogens was introduced in 1990. That could be correct. There was an increase in drug abuse. This is totally out of context. So the answer is C. You might have to do the elimination method in order to find the answer to be C. Okay, so just read carefully and just go through slowly. Question 30. Where are the amino acids assembled into the protein nucleus? So this is one of the questions that goes by the definition. So assembled into protein molecules is where translation happens. So the site of translation happens in the ribosomes. Question 31. The diagram shows the changes in the mass of the DNA in one cell before and during and after a mitosis. What is happening at X? Okay, so actually, remember, there is one phase that's replication, right? Replication actually doubles the amount of DNA, the amount of the what do you call that, as the genetic material. It's become double. So actually, what happens during X is the DNA replication. So a woman has blood group AB, has a child with a man who has a blood group B and is heterozygous. So what is the chances of the child having blood group B? Okay. So again, this is autosomal, but we use I. So IA, IB, blood group B, IB, and heterozygous, so meaning IB, IO. So IA, IB, 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 IA, IO, IB, IO. What is the chances of having a blood group B? So we can see there's one B here and one B here. So the answer is 50%. Question 33. Plants are adapted to survive in different environments. So what are the features of the xerophyte? So xerophytes, okay, one of the example, remember, what comes to your mind is always the cactus. So they have very thick cuticle because they do not want to lose water, and the number of stomata is fewer. So the answer is A. Question 34. Which diagram shows the flow of energy? Okay, producer to consumers, this one is correct. Producer to decomposer, this is also right. Consumers to decomposer, also correct. But let's see the others. B. Consumers, producers, and decomposers. It's already wrong because producers should start first, consumers to be second. Producers to consumer, this is correct, but consumers should be going to decomposer. Decomposer to consumer to producer, totally out of context. So the answer is A. Question 35. The diagram shows a food chain, tree, small insects, small birds, birds of prey. What is the correct pyramid of numbers, okay, for this food chain? Okay, usually pyramid numbers, right, they don't follow the traditional type of how it would look. So since it's they tell you it's a pyramid of numbers, right, there's always more smaller insects, okay, because pyramid of numbers only calculates the energy that they make, and they always have a lot of small insects, right? So A is the correct answer. There's always more small insects in the world. Question 36. Acidic soils encourage the increase of anaerobic bacteria that can cause denitrification. How do acidic conditions affect the nitrogen cycle? Okay, hold up. So for just now, for this again, this question, pyramid of numbers, right, is only considering the number. Consider the number, not the energy lah. This is not the energy. I apologize for saying the word energy. It doesn't apply to here. Okay, going back to this, how do acidic conditions affect the nitrogen cycle? Okay, so ammonia will not enter the nitrogen cycle. This is wrong. They will enter. More nitrogen gas will be released from the soil. Yes, because denitrification. So yeah, denitrification actually totally corresponds to statement B. So B will be correct. The concentration of nitrates in the soil will increase. Not really. The plants growing in the soil will produce more protein. No. So mainly, the word here that tell you is denitrification. Although other statements sound correct, but they are asking you for denitrification. So it's all about nitrogen gas coming out from the soil. They are going back to the atmosphere. Question 37. The graph shows the population of yeast over a period of time. Which phase shows the number of yeast cells dying is equal to the number of yeast cells being produced? This is at the stationary phase. So the answer is C, because equal, dying, equal, produce. Question 38. Wheat plants are often grown in large areas as monoculture. What is the negative environmental impact of this method of farming? A. The variety of species in the area is reduced. Maybe. Fewer types of pesticides are needed. No. Larger harvests can be produced. This is a positive, but it's not. Specialist machinery can be used. There's no relevance at all. So the answer is A. Because all are genetically identical, so your species will have lesser genetic variation or reduce. Question 39. How will these natural processes be affected by deforestation? So when there's a flooding, right, there will be increased deforestation. Loss of soil increase will also cause. Transpiration decrease. Transpiration doesn't have any effect. There's no effect because transpiration is a natural process that happens in the plant itself. So doesn't affect at all. So the answer is D. So you may have to really create a good guess instead of this, because like if you have too much loss of soil, of course by common sense there'll be lesser plants growing, right? So when there's increase of that, then deforestation is the one that's affected by it. Last question. The stages describes how genetic modification can be used to produce human insulin from bacteria. So which sequence will lead to the production of human insulin by bacteria? Okay, for me, let's start with the removing method. Okay, let's see number 2. Extract the gene for insulin from human DNA with restriction enzyme. This is correct. Okay, but look at 4. Join human DNA to bacterial plasmid DNA using DNA ligase. We do not start with DNA ligase. So C and D is out. Now let's see the next. The next one will actually tell you the answer already. So cut bacterial plasmid DNA with restriction enzyme. This is also correct. This is correct. Number 5, they say replicate the bacteria containing recombinant plasmid. It doesn't really match at all. How would you already cut and then replicate the bacteria that contain the recombinant bacteria? That doesn't click at all. So the answer is A. Alright, so this is the end of the paper. So if you have any questions from any of the questions here, so please do feel free to raise up in the comments below, and all the best for your exam. Bye bye.